Diagnosed with ADHD at 11, taken out of my home when I was 12, grew up in the system, drug addict, rock bottoms, to the point where I decided to take my life. That changed everything. 3 company exits, 100 million in revenue, millionaire at 27, beautiful family, lots of love, crazy grateful.
Dan Martell is one of the fastest growing voices in business, but beyond the blue t-shirt, he's helping kids design a better life, and that's where this conversation goes deeper.
They won't let us use AI in school. Put your hand up if they don't let you use AI in school. 90% of the kids' hands went up. I didn't say you use AI to do your school. I say use AI to teach you.
Statement that lights up their eyes is when you say,
sell something to a stranger. Kid goes, I like building maps. Will you make me one? I'll pay you for it. He said, sure, $5. I said, you just became an entrepreneur.
We have a common friend, ADHD.
Nobody told me is that it was actually my superpower. I literally do my best work in the busiest of places. I design the environment by default to win. Growth compounds as it stacks, except most people never get the stacking because they reset all the time. Compounding growth is the most powerful force in the universe, but not if you go to zero. The standards are the standards. Nobody's ever joined our team and not gotten the best shape of their life because it's culture. We're public about the culture. I don't even think the people that are not aligned with that apply. I fire people on my team that don't use AI in their work.
What's the one thing that you would ask your team to scan for right away?
Personal development and growth. I can't teach you to want to learn.
You'll ask them what?
What are the
That's it.
I'm happy with that. In that moment of the challenge, as you evolve, you're literally going through that to get you ready to receive the thing you've been asking for. Who you are is not who you have to be, because if it was, you'd have it. You have to go on the journey. On that journey, there will be pain. Pain is a perfect teacher to teach you the lesson. Live in the beauty of the human existence. When I take my last breath, I'm gonna ask myself, did I live fearless?
Woody Milintachinda.
Sawadee Krap. Welcome, everyone. I'm Woody Milintachinda. For more than a decade, I've been telling stories in Thai. Today, we begin a new chapter in English. See, for over 10 years, I've had the privilege of sitting across from remarkable people, leaders, creators, entrepreneurs, and asking questions that reveal how they think, how they transform, and how they grow. Most of those conversations were in Thai. And over the years, people asked why I never launched an English show. I told them, let's wait for the right moment, right timing. I want it to feel right. And now it does. What a Life is about conversations with people who make you rethink what's possible. The kind of people from all industries who will transform and push you to become a better version of yourself. So before we go any further, let's just get this out of the way. If you believe in meaningful conversations that might transform your mind, body, and soul, please hit subscribe. I'll give you 5 seconds. I actually paused. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button because we're building this from the ground up. And if you're here early, you're part of that foundation. Hey,
Woody.
Dan, welcome to
I
Taming.
want a hug.
Now on to our guest. A few months ago, I started following him. He makes content that I, for one, would say make me rethink the way I run my shows. And some it's just because I listen to him and all his videos. I've been transformed because of him, and just not because of the blue t-shirt that he wears all the time, though that's become his signature, but because of his clarity and consistency behind everything he talks about. I'm talking about Dan Martell. Dan Martell talks about buying back your time, about building systems, about scaling before you scale your business. So in the next hour, you'll get a front row seat to how someone can fall apart and deliberately rebuild a life that wins from rock bottom to extraordinary results without excuses. Dan breaks down the mindset, standards, and AI-powered ways of learning that can turn your chaos into your advantage and leave you asking one question: are you living fearless? Let's begin. The one sitting before me in his iconic blue t-shirt is an inspiring and energetic soul. Someone who is empowering people of all ages to reach their fullest potential. He's incredibly successful in his field, and I cannot wait to learn more. Welcome, Dan Martell.
Thank you, Woody. It's an honor.
Welcome to
I was going to turn around and be like, somebody sitting behind me? Who's that guy?
It's you.
Thank you.
You are traveling the world right now. What brings you to this part of the world?
Well, my wife and I, it's kind of fun. A year ago, we went away to Australia. And every year we always kind of finish the year with a recap. Went to this place called Byron Bay right on the beach, very kind of like vibey, connecty. And I remember asking her for the 10th time, this is 10 years in a row, do you think it's possible when we look at the calendar that this is the year we do a year of world schooling, where we take the kids out of school, get on a plane, and just go? Normally I get a hard no right out of she's like, no way, Jose. And last year she actually paused. And she said, what would that look like? I was like, you understand, ever since my kids are 12 and 13, so pretty much since they could start talking a little bit, I've been wanting to take advantage of the freedom that I created. Like that's the thing is, as an entrepreneur, I think the word is freedom. We all create so that one day we can have the ability to kind of go where we want to go and hang with who we want to and see things. And it never occurred to me it takes two people to make that decision. It takes me and my wife. So last year when she said yes, we started the planning, and we've been at it now for a couple months, starting in September, and we're going till next June.
The concept is quite new for a lot of people, world schooling.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, Dan.
The idea is using the world as the classroom. My problem with the way things are taught today is, one, most parents are not involved in what's taught in the classroom. Two, most things that are understood about the way the world is through media, through social media, through the news. And three, I just have never read about somebody and met with them and not discovered new things. And I know the world, when I started traveling in my 20s, it changed my whole perspective, right? And I just think if I could give my kids any gift, it would be that. And right now, especially with the kind of the advent of AI, they're actually doing school kind of like it's a remote school program, but it's powered by AI. So like they only do 3 hours a day. It's very dynamic. It's based on their preferences. They love it. We travel. we go find they're in co-working spaces with me in the morning, and we just have a ton of fun. And then afternoon is like a yes day. It's like, what do you want to do? Like today they're out go-karting in Bangkok at like the most extravagant go-karting thing I've ever seen, as you guys do here. Like you guys do everything it's like colorful and awesome.
Tell the world what Bangkok is like for you.
Well, I've been here a week. I will tell you this. It's beautiful because it's a city that's got all the amenities of a big city, like the modern and the shopping and the people. And like, this is the way I travel. I literally go on TikTok and I search the city I'm in and I just scroll. And usually I will be presented the most viral restaurants, viral things to do, viral activity. Like it's literally, and there's so much to do here that I'd have to stay for 3 months. Like the one I thought was so smart was a daytime fully immersive club. So it's literally a dance club, but it opens at 10 a.m. The whole room is LED signs, and it's designed for this new generation that doesn't want to stay up late and ruin their sleep, but still want to be social and still want to move their body. And it's super immersive. And I'm just like scrolling, I'm seeing this stuff. So like, it's got that, but then on the other flip side, what I love, it's got the very organic, local vibe to the streets. Like, I love seeing all the kind of the Buddhist kind of like rituals and then just the greenery and the space. It's kind of neat. Like sometimes I'll be like looking up a restaurant and I'm outside and I'm on the street, I'm looking and I don't see it. But if I go down this path and all of a sudden it just opens up this beautiful garden and it's there amongst others. And then I turn right and there's a Michelin rated restaurant. Like, I mean, just the quality of experiences. So it feels, cause like we just came from Dubai, which is a country and a city really that was built in the last 25 years. So like the contrast has been really, it's got all the new stuff, but it lacks a little depth. Here, it's like a lot of depth and the new stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I think I need to consult Dan if I need to find advice about where to go eat and what to do in Bangkok now. Because
tourists do that.
Usually I would need to consult my friends who come here. I don't even know about the restaurants opening at all. Seriously.
Whoa.
Just because we're so busy, I would say, with work here, and they would find places outside of the country. So what you mentioned here just now, I think I need to look at your list. So what do? I go on TikTok and
search
Bangkok?
the city, Bangkok, things to do.
Okay.
And then just feel free to let it scroll. And I will tell you, it is wild.
And that's what you do at the start of every city you go
I do it a week before I go to the city because some things need tickets. And I've learned the hard way, if you don't buy your tickets in time, there's no amount of bribing that's going to get you in.
Let's begin with the trailer of your life.
Diagnosed with ADHD at 11, taken out of my home when I was 12, grew up in the system, written off, depressed, lonely, drug addict, rock bottom of rock bottoms, to the point where I decided to take my life in a high-speed chase, chased by the cops. Stopped, almost pull a gun to take my life. Luckily, the gun gets stuck. Oh, man. And in prison, I had a guard named Brian pull me aside to speak life into me. That changed everything. Today, it's wild. 3 company exits, 100 million in revenue, millionaire at 27, beautiful family. Lots of love. Crazy grateful. And I'm giving it all away. I want to die empty. That's my story.
Listening to that trailer, I feel as if anyone who's ever gone into your page or content not only will get energy, inspiration, lessons as well, but I think there's a purpose for you on earth, Dan. And I think you know well. But why are you here on earth?
It's hard for me to talk about because I have so much appreciation for how my life has turned out that I have this deep desire to honor that. So whatever I would share with you today, I know just because of where I thought I was, what my purpose was 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, it just keeps evolving. I just got to believe that and the truth is I kind of believe this for everybody. I believe every person's here on earth to be an example on how to get through or avoid the worst thing that's ever happened to them. It's such a unique experience, the human experience around whatever that was for somebody, the trauma, the pain, the fear, the challenge. And if you make it through that, which the fact that you're breathing air and people are listening to this and I'm here, to me, it just means that is what I'm here to do, is help other people. That's why if people follow my content, I do a lot of stuff with youth. I've been doing that for 28 years. We just happened to put a camera on it about 1.5 years ago. And the truth is, and my team knows this, and my wife knows this, if I have an option between hanging out with a bunch of rich dudes or hanging out with a bunch of kids, the rich dudes can go take a hike. It's just not where my heart is. And it's wild because I'll get opportunities to go speak in San Quentin jail in California to a bunch of hardened criminals that need a message of inspiration and hope. But I'm going to the group home down the street instead because I align with young Dan more than anything. That's where my story changed. And I know that's my purpose. So the work I do to try to, quote unquote, the success stuff, it's almost like the carrot that gives the kids permission to lean in. I'm very self-aware that it doesn't matter. All the material stuff doesn't matter. The accolades don't matter, but those are the things that allow me to have really, I remember, so I went to this rehab called Portage and it saved my life. I spent 11 months there. It was the hardest thing I've ever done to this day in my whole life. Tried to run away twice. Luckily, they built it in the middle of nowhere. So running away was an ordeal. No, you'd probably die from walking. It was built in the middle of the woods. And
every year, 3 times a year, I'd go speak at this place. And I remember one time I showed up in a McLaren, a supercar. I didn't even get out of the car, and the kids were surrounding the car, leaning in. What do you do? Who are you? Whereas the previous time I visited, that batch of kids, they wouldn't even sit still to listen to me. So it was interesting to watch the contrast. I'm not above using whatever I got to do to meet the kids where they're at. And if that's the kind of thing that if the success and the accolades, the social media. Last month we had 200 million people view my content. So everybody, now I'm even my kids are starting to use their dad's name to get into things in my hometown.
They do.
They 100%. My son called me the other day. Hey, my friend Malik really likes your GT3 RS Porsche. Do you mind stopping by his house? I said, oh, is this a new friend of yours? You want to impress your new friend? Like, you know what I mean?
Do they go around saying, hey, I'm Dan Martell's son?
I don't think they do that as much. No, but I know for sure if they need to use it, they use it. Which is, it's kind of one of those things where if that's what it takes to like, I always, in marketing, there's this great concept called chocolate broccoli. And you got to give them what they want, but then deliver them what they need.
Because when I see those fancy cars on the roadside with the kids and you filming, I'm like, I don't think Dan is trying to say, you got to go up and have Lamborghinis, but more like that's what the language that they're speaking. So bring them in first and then we'll transform them.
It's chocolate broccoli. I literally it gets them to show up.
Yeah.
Like they I do this program called King's Club, and it's a free event for young men that are on the path and desire to want to be successful.
How old do you need to be?
14 to 19 is the age. Now we have 12-year-olds and it's called King's Club. It's for young men, but there's young ladies that show up, and it's whoever really wants to show up. But I've never been a young lady. So I'm just very clear of I can give you my thoughts from my experience. And when I sit down with these kids, it's not about the cars. It never was about the car. That just gets them in the room, gets their ears open and go, okay, what did you do to get that car? That's a great question. Let's talk about that. Because I'll tell you, it's not anybody that's ever gotten to a place where they've achieved something that they're proud of, realize that they had to be the person before the thing ever showed up. That's a beautiful conversation for me to have a kid say that if you want the car, you actually have to act like the person that has that kind of car before it ever shows up. So don't expect it to show up after wishing and hoping and maybe it'll happen. It's like you literally got to go to the end and say, how would Dan act in this situation? Is he going to scream at his parents or is he going to listen to his parents? Is he going to show up and do the work, or is he going to decide he's tired? Because that's the only way that shows up in your life. And those conversations, they are literally my favorite thing.
If you had to choose one question that most of the kids ask you, out of all the questions, the one question that they always come up to Dan and ask is,
how do I start a business?
How do I start a business?
Every one of them. I've answered it 17,000 different ways and they still ask.
And the statement that lights up their eyes is when you say,
sell something to a stranger. And then I go, what do you like to do? Last week I was doing the same conversation. Kid, how do I start a business? I said, what do you love to do? I was in Dubai. Kid goes, I like building maps. I said, what game? Minecraft. Roblox. I said, I know Roblox. I said, will you make me one? What do you mean? I said, well, you like creating these little worlds. Will you make me one? I'll pay you for it. He was confused. He's looking at his parents, looking at me, looking at his parents. Parents like, say yes. And I'm like, can I buy one? He said, sure. I said, well, how much? He looks at his parents. Parents just like, say anything. He said, $5. I said, sounds like a deal. Hand out, shook. I said, you just became an entrepreneur. The whole room blew up. We overcomplicate it. We literally overcomplicate. It's I needed this, I needed that, I needed that. No, you don't. Take anything. Borrow the thing. You don't even have to have the thing. You can sell it without having it and just have a commitment and then run. Go figure out how to do it and then come back. And that's how I built my companies. And it's like, I will be answering that question for the rest of my life, gladly. And every time I do it with them, like every time they ask me that question, we do the business. I buy something from them, whatever it is, a painting, an idea, I pre-order something. I'm your first customer. We're doing it. Transactions, money's out. Let's go.
So you don't think that at this time, day and age, we need to wait until they're 20 or 30 to become successful?
No, if they're asking that question, don't stunt them.
Don't stunt them.
It's so crazy. Okay, this is a fun story. So I'm in the Maldives, I'm walking on the beach, and my kids have a project to do so that they can earn their cell phone. So like they have to do a deep research project around greatness. So one of my sons, big fan of Lamine Yamal, big soccer guy, he's doing his project. We're walking on the beach, he goes, "Can I change my project? My study I said, "Why? What are you thinking?" He goes, "I want to study trading stocks." And I was like, "Oh, why do you want to study trading stocks?" He goes, "Because it's a skill. You always say we got to develop skills to create more value. And that's a skill that I'm interested in. And I want to study that." Okay, if you were to study that, do you have somebody you've already identified to study? He said, "Yes." I said, "Who?" He goes, "This guy named TJR. I know who TJR is. Okay. One of those Miami kids, you know what I'm saying? 20-year-olds, YouTuber, blah, blah. And it was so fascinating to me that my son's 12 and he thinks enough to learn that he's seeing it. Like there's no, like, they're not using the kid version of YouTube at 12. They're using YouTube. They're on TikTok. They're using, whatever they're at, and they're seeing it. So they're being exposed to opportunities, the AI stuff, the dropshipping. Literally, that's what the kids, should I do dropshipping? Should I do real estate? Should I do crypto? Should I do AI? Should I do stock trading? My answer is whatever you're passionate about. Like I actually say to them all the time, it's not what idea, it's that you do it. If my son is going to pursue and study and learn day trading, even if he never does it, like most people never do it, but he learns the skill of learning the skill, money well spent. I think it's awesome. Young kids, in it to win it.
My nephews are 12 and 13. From my side, my husband's side, so total of 4. And they come hang at the house. And they always ask, we want to be successful. What do you recommend? And sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to recommend for AI. Like, what have you recommended to the boys? I feel like I want to have an AI conversation with them. And they say the school doesn't really teach them.
No, they're not allowed, bro. They're in not. School, okay? I remember I was teaching AI at King's Club. And I'm teaching it. And all I hear in the audience is, they won't let us use AI in school. And I was like, what? I said, what'd you say? He said, they won't let us use AI in school. I said, put your hand up if they don't let you use AI in school. 90% of the kids' hands went up. What are we doing here? Like, I fire people on my team that don't use AI in their work, and they're not letting you use it. I didn't say you use AI to do your school. I say use AI to teach you. So when my kids sit down to do their school every day and they're learning about friggin' plural possessive pronouns, they're using AI because whatever the book said was complicated, and you can literally say, teach it to me simpler. Okay, now I get it. Visualize it. Okay, I get it. Now I can do the test. Why would we not allow our kids to do that? So to me, it's been ever since like 3 years now, my kids have been deep in every aspect of AI because that's my world. But I just can't see a world where we're like, oh no, you're not going to be allowed on the internet. Let's not do the internet yet. We're going to wait till you're an adult and then I'll teach you the internet. That's people are trying to protect the kids from a behavior because they're not aware of it themselves. But to me, to like handicap a child from having access to the tools that absolutely is the most powerful way for them to learn anything. That just makes no sense.
We have a common friend, by the way, ADHD. Common friends between me.
Hey, he's a good dude.
And you said crippling ADHD. So walk me through from ADHD mess to hyper CEO. Because as we all know, right? The 3 pillars in attentiveness, hyperactivity.
Yeah, I've got the H.
So when realizing that, I just realized, oh, what got me here was also that as well. It empowered me to get here. And I was very blessed, I would say, with that. But moving forward, I have to be very careful as well to make sure that, because if I want to be focused, and as you mentioned, consistency is king, I'd have to make sure that when my ADHD brain is at work, I can allow it, but not to an extent where it takes over. So that's for me. And I am on that journey because I only knew about it last year. What has been your journey like from crippling ADHD to hyper-focus CEO?
I mean, I got diagnosed when I was 11 because I couldn't sit in class. The teachers, they got 30 kids in class. Dan's disruptive. We don't want to say he can't come to school, but it's not going to work. They finally, this is back in the 80s, early 80s. And I remember they put me on Ritalin, which was like the only drug at the time they had. And I took it and I was a different kid. And I didn't like it. I felt stunted. I think the best word would be neutered. Like I didn't know that word at the time, but it was like night and day. And I think after a month or two, I just decided I didn't want to take it anymore. Cause like, I didn't like how mellow I was. And I refused to take the medication. And because of that, school wasn't good. So my mom started hiding it in my food.
Oh.
Yeah. She used to hide it in the muffin. She knew how to eat a muffin. She'd sprinkle it in my cereal.
And you never knew about it for how long?
She literally titrated it a little bit more. And I was like, and then eventually I realized what she was doing. And it was just like the meaning I gave that, because our minds are meaning makers, is that there's something wrong with Dan. I'm broken and I have to take a pill. And that messed me up as a teenager. Like I went my whole life feeling there's something wrong with me. Obviously I get into drugs and the addiction and the bad decisions and the high speed chase and ended up in juvenile detention twice, all before I was an adult. So I just had proof after proof after proof there's something wrong with me, and ADHD was the diagnosis. So I just thought that's how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. What nobody told me, that I wish somebody would have told me, is that it was actually my superpower. If I knew how to channel it. Your number one strength can be that. It could also be your Achilles heel. So you need to understand the difference. And where it became a strength is that when I finally got into the entrepreneurial world, it turns out the skill of I literally do my best work in the busiest of places. You give me a laptop and sit me in a really dense coffee shop. And again, I have to have what I'm working on, a reward system, timer. Now today I have a lot more. I put music, I put no word EDM, like I need the beats, but I can't have words. I gotta, and I've realized, and it was probably 10 years ago. So I did Ritalin, then Adderall, then Ativan, until I was in my early 30s. And then when I had my kids, I didn't like the Dan, because I know the fun Dan, this guy, that's not who I was. And I have kids now. I want them to experience me. So I worked with my buddy Mike, and we literally had to go off 30 milligrams, had to titrate down. It took 6 months, 9 months. And I had to rejig my whole nutrition, my physicality, my workouts, my work environment, even my life. Like the reason why Buy Back Your Time was such a meaningful book for me is I almost needed that to deal with it. Like if you ask me to do my accounting, we're all in trouble. Like anybody's like, if you want me to sit down and look at spreadsheets and go find receipts, we're in big trouble. Okay. I'm going to jail. Like I'm just not going to do that. But if you tell me we've got like the hardest problem in the world to sit down and whiteboard, it's like, I'm not going to bed.
So you know exactly where your superpower is and what you need to be doing. And things that would disempower you, you'd make sure that you could outsource that to someone else to do. So you're not doing everything.
No, I mean, in my book, that's where I talk about the energy audit. I didn't talk about the productivity audit. I talked about like, what are the things that light you up that are green? What are the things that zap your energy that are red? And it turns out for some people, the things that I find work, other people find play. Like Sandy, my bookkeeper, if we called her right now, she'd be like, "Hi, Dan, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, Sandy, how's the accounting?" She'd be like, "I'm having so much fun." And I'm just like, that's great. So she plays at the things I work at. Now she could have ADHD, but her brain just might I don't know. All I know is that when I found a way to go, okay, these red things are just not things that I enjoy doing. We're going to put them over here. I'm going to take that time and I'm going to go do things that are bright green. And me doing that and you doing that equals it's synergy. And then you got to fight to stay in that place. You got to honor the calendar. You got to I have to prep. I need to know what I'm working on. I can't just sit there with an open calendar. It just doesn't work for me. And I need I have a Pomodoro timer that I use. So 25 minutes and I got 5 minutes to breathe and move my body and then back down and I'm doing it again. And I need to see the progress, right? I have the ability to attack things with violence. I literally, if anything, that is also an Achilles heel because you can be too much. Certain problems don't need that much Dan or Woody. You know what I mean?
So give me ADHD Dan 101 on how to live life now.
Perfect.
By Dan, what to do.
Okay, first off, no sugar. Sugar is the worst thing. People do not realize how much, and sugars are in carbs, sugars are hidden, sugars are in diet this. No. Low sugar. Whole foods, low sugar. You can have like natural sugars and stuff like mangoes and stuff, but like no processed sugar stuff. So nutrition's a big one. I pretty much overdose on protein. Whole food proteins, greens. That's my stack. Really clean. Hydrate. I had a friend of mine, wasn't doing well, went to see a doctor. They put him on pills. I said, did the doctor ask you about your routine? No. He didn't ask him about his workout, what he was eating, what he's putting in his body. I said, hey man, I don't want to tell you what to do, but you might want to just start drinking more water. I dare you to like drink, I don't know, 3 liters a day. Like go crazy. And he's like, really? You drink that much? I said, hey, yeah, man, 4. So like, I just drink a lot, water. So it cleans out the system. I wake up, I have to work out, exhaust the body, tame the mind. You want to tame that thing? Go get physical. Okay. And what's funny is that if you read the books, Driven to Distraction, all these books on ADHD, they all share the same prescriptions and they didn't even know, right? Like a lot of people with ADHD are like, they're athletes. They're people that are like long distance runners or, high rocks athletes or CrossFit athletes or, bodybuilders. Like they need to do that because that's what allows them to then tame the mind and focus. And then for me, that's just how I start. And then I need to plan before I do the work, okay? And I need to know exactly how to they need to be broken down. The strategy and the doing has to be separate. I can't do them at the same time. So I'm either doing strategy to figure out what we need to do in sequence, because I think sequencing equals success. And then the work I do in the morning. For me, if I can get, like when I was programming code, because that's my background, 6 hours was like an amazing day. Today, if I can get 3 hours of deep work done, I'm good. I'm talking like working on my book, crafting strategies, working on some new technology, like just, 6 30-minute blocks, 3 hours, first thing in the morning. That's my time. The rest of it. And then what I do is I'm a big fan of like managing my energy, not my time. So like I don't have meetings in the morning, me personally. Like if I have to have a meeting in the morning, it's at like 11 a.m. But from when I wake up to 11, Dan's time. But I don't just sit on the couch and scroll Netflix, you know what I mean? So like, and then I would say, the other thing is just make sure that I'm never put in a position where a critical task, I know that you want to know one of my favorite hacks that you'll love? If I know I have to do something, but I don't want to do it, I schedule it to do it with somebody else.
Wait.
This is a game changer.
Again, please.
Let's say I needed to sit down and review a bunch of stuff and I don't want to do it. I know I don't want to do it. I will schedule the work time with somebody else. Even if they're not doing anything with me, they're on the call with me and they know I got to get it done and they're making sure I get it done because I'll do more to deliver for you than I'll ever do for myself.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I like design the environment by default to win.
Like what?
Oh, I mean, I did it the other day. I did a working session with my creative director, Sam. We had to like work through a bunch of ideas for some upcoming videos.
And you don't want to?
I don't want to do it. I want him to do it. And he's like, these are too technical. I don't have the background. I'm like, oh, who else can we get involved? He's like, well, I already talked to Coop. And I'm just like, all right, 90 minutes, 3 blocks. Here's what we're going to do. And I just need you on the call. He's like, why? I said, just trust me. You want it? He's like, yeah. I said, then be on the call. And we just sat down for 90 minutes. And we got it done.
Amazing. And
I just wouldn't do it if it's just me. If the benefit just benefits me, I won't do it. It's not a big enough draw to get me focused.
I was going to touch upon diet, but since you mentioned that routine, you did say that out of all the things to do in life in terms of taking care of this body is the macros.
100%.
And you said you overdose on protein.
Yeah, macros.
Inspire me now.
Let's go.
Like I want to be inspired because I know that every time I look at my proteins on my plate, Dan, it's good for me. I know it's important, but chunking it down to the level that I need to, I'm not doing that now with all the stresses that's happening. So I want to listen to you basically pitch for me now.
I'll tell you
why
on
I need to be
macros.
chunking protein.
Well, there's a few things, right? So like calories is what you're going to weigh. Macros is how you're going to look and micros are how you're going to feel. Micronutrients, macronutrients, calories. The only way for people to lose weight, like I don't think people understand this, but if you eat 3,000 calories in a meal, your body absorbs 3,000 calories. It's not like some people I think have this like weird math in their head. They're like, oh yeah, my body can only absorb 800. So the other 2,200 are just going to go away. No, you literally, to be in a caloric deficit, it has to be over a week period. So you can have a bad meal, but you just got to figure out how to make it up for the rest of the week. But the calories in is the calories out. And the only way your body cannot be in a surplus is to be in a deficit. So calories is what you weigh. Macros is how you look. You can't develop the muscular structure that most people want, the shoulders, the back, whatever they want, without the protein. Okay. So you can have the same calories, different macros, and look super like sloppy. Like you ever, and most men don't really, anybody, men for me, I know men better, but like most people when they're in the like late 30s, early 40s, their body goes into this thing called sarcopenia, where it starts eating the muscle as a fuel source. If you ever touch an old person's arm and it's like super flabby and it feels like a bag of milk, that's what it is. And if you don't want that, then you have to build muscle just to overcome the pound and a half of muscle your body's eating almost every year. So like the macros is required just for how you look. And then the micronutrients, this is why I'm a whole foods guy, is how I'm going to feel. So like if you want to have your best ideas that feel like they come from God, trust me, you cannot go and carb out on nachos. I don't know what's your treat, but like
pad thai.
Oh, you just can't.
But they're so good.
It's so good. But the problem is that the downside is so huge.
Isn't pad thai healthy?
Everything can be made healthy and made absolutely not healthy.
Have you done pad thai?
Yeah, I did. Like I will do pad thai, but I'll ask them like, how much oils are you using? Like I'm looking at the macros, which is protein, fats, and carbs.
So you're always looking at the macros wherever you go.
Yeah. And like most countries, like even here, if you go on Grab, I can just search healthy foods, and there's places that actually do healthy versions of all this stuff. And it gives you the macros in the description. Like I do meal prep. Like I know my macros. I eat meal prep as I travel this crazy world. Some countries are easier than others, but I just can't see the upside of eating a bad meal, knowing that it's going to affect my ability to be creative, affect my ability to have the energy, affect my ability to have focus. Like it's just not worth the downside. Right. And that consistency over time creates the confidence, that creates the breakthroughs, it creates a life that everybody else is like, must be nice. And you're like, we're not talking.
Well, other than foods, a lot of people watching might be drinking, vaping, addicted to some
all of it. I know it all. I get all these kids.
Now, again, please be the salesman of living a clean life. Why?
I don't do not any of it. Just this is a great conversation. Thank you for asking that question. Okay. Because when you pull up to a gas station or to an event in a supercar, people always want to ask you the question, what do you do? My answer is the same every time somebody asks me that. It's not what I do, it's what I don't do. Because a great coach actually doesn't tell you what you should do. They keep you away from your bad ideas. Most people in the quiet of the morning know exactly what they should do. Unfortunately, they go and make other decisions instead of exactly what they should do. So what I do is I tell them what I don't do, because I can tell you what to do and you could do that. But if you keep doing the stuff you shouldn't be doing, all of that, the amount of men that reach out to me and like, my wife just left me, my kids won't talk to me, my parents have disowned me. Not because you weren't rich. You figured out how to be successful. You didn't know the other part, which is stop being a womanizer, stop being an alcoholic, stop being a drug user, stop, you know what I mean? Stop self-medicating. Live in the beauty of the human existence. Like every time I've dropped a vice, everything in my life went up. Every time.
Every time.
I wish it was not that way, but I can just tell you from my experience, from quitting drugs when I was 17, and then I made the mistake of starting to drink in my early 20s. And then when my wife told me she was pregnant, I knew better and I quit drinking. And it's been 13 years. To every other advice, like I work out every day. I don't miss a day. People are like, what about a recovery day? What's a recovery day? You can go to the gym, you can go on the treadmill and get a sweat on. Like people are like, oh, I need a day off. No, you don't. You're not a professional athlete here. Like it's kind of funny the stories people tell themselves. But when you can, look, I'm okay with you going and having the pad thai, right? Choose the day you're going to have it. Make it an experience. Go out with your friends. The rest of it, you know, most people do the 520s or the 520 diet, which is 5 days clean, 2 days off the wagon and 0 results. Okay.
520?
Yeah, it's a 520
I want to
diet.
try that.
Yeah.
520.
Don't do the
I think I've been doing that for years now.
Yeah, don't do the 520. You want to literally do 90. It's the 90%. Not most people don't realize like 80-20, which is the 520, won't get you any gains. 90-10 actually will. So like if you're doing 80% of the effort and not getting the result, the incremental, like dropping the weight or making more money, like it's kind of wild that for a little extra effort in relation to everything else you've done, that's where the magic happens.
Now, you are traveling with your family, I mean, your wife and your kids.
Yeah.
Do they absorb that from you as well in terms of watching
That's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is monkey see, monkey do.
Do they love protein?
You know what's funny is that they just make better decisions because they see me do it and they're not exposed to it. I think if I was a parent let's say the opposite, where I'm coming to Bangkok and I'm looking at the viral TikToks of food and I'm like, okay, I'm going to Chinatown and I'm having this thing and this thing and thing. I just don't do that, right? They don't do it. So parents don't realize how much their decisions impact their kids. Like I can imagine if I'm a parent that gambles, even if I never talk to my kids about it, they're probably going to try it because they see me do it. I've never gambled in front of me. I don't gamble. So my kids, it's not even like a conversation. So like the fact that I am asking about like, hey, you know, this place like have good protein sources, Whole Foods, then my kids do ask like, hey, is this a good choice for me? Because they also notice the difference. Like if you eat clean and then you have chocolate cake, you will watch your brain literally like the negativity, the self-doubt, it all creeps in.
Oh yeah. Right after 60 seconds.
Like you feel it. It's almost like, I don't want that. So like, and I think like confidence is built by keeping the commitments you make to yourself in private. And the simplest personal development program for everybody listening is this: wake up tomorrow morning and go, what's one thing I did yesterday that I wish I wouldn't have done? And tomorrow, or when you wake up, make the commitment for today, I'm not going to do that one thing. If you did that every day, you would be a very successful person. And it doesn't take a program, it doesn't take an investment, it literally just self-reflection. What decisions I make yesterday, I wish I would have went to the gym. I didn't go to the gym. I wish I shouldn't, I didn't need to have that second dessert. Okay, today I'm not gonna have 2 desserts. I'm gonna start with 1. And eventually just work through the vices. But like, I think the nutrition one, I would just challenge everybody to take 100 days, whatever it is, and just ask yourself at the end of 100 days, is my life better?
You think 100 days is just the amount
It's
of time?
enough time for you to actually see an impact to your life. You'll be able to see your thoughts shift. You'll be able to see your life shift. You'll be able to see the impact to your body, to your work. Your team will feel it. 100 days it's a good amount of time. It's not.
But should we do one or a few things at a time?
One at
Because
a time.
If we do 5 things, you know, diet, run, walk, sleep, it's just
You know what that is?
What is it?
Self-sabotage.
self-sabotage.
That person is a self-sabotager.
Tell me more about this person.
That person is the person that they can't do one thing. They have to do 5. They hear a program like 75 Hard, which is like this protocol. And they're like, I'm going to make it harder. You didn't even finish it, bro. And you're already making it harder. Why? Because you want to give yourself a reason to quit.
You want to give yourself a reason to quit.
You want to make it so that nobody would blame you for quitting because you made it harder on yourself than you had to. Nobody told you. I'm literally saying 100 days, one thing. And then the person goes, okay, well, I'm going to do that, this, and that. And I go, why? I dare you to do one thing for 100 days. And if you do that, you just got to want a win. And the language I use with my kids is we're on a winning streak. We're on a winning streak. Let's stay on this winning streak. And then let's add another one. And that's why growth compounds as it stacks, except most people never get the stacking because they reset all the time. It's like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett used to say that like compounding growth is the most powerful force in the universe, but not if you go to 0 every 6 months or every 3 years. Like the compounding of your money only works if you don't lose the money, not if you have to reset.
So can you tell who's watching this will get to grow after watching this and who might not?
Oh yeah, if I could meet them.
Do you know the percentage of people watching this right now?
Yeah.
And what would it be for them after watching? What would they be doing right after this?
They would literally okay, so the winners, okay, so I always say out of 100 people, 10% are winners. Winners win. They just win. Like you meet people and you're like, that's a winner, right? Drop them in the middle of another city, watch them win. They just know how to win. So no matter who they coach with, study with, buy a program, they're just gonna win in life. So that's the 10%. Then there's like the 60% that you talk to them and they fight with you for their limitations. Have you ever met somebody like this? Where they argue with you for their limitations?
There's always an excuse of not today.
And they're violent.
Not
they're just,
today.
Yeah, but you don't understand.
I cannot do, nope.
Yeah. So those people, they've got to figure out their journey. Some people, to me, it's the people in the middle that I have a chance to influence. And those people, if they're asking like, what do I need to do right now? This is what I do. Okay. I pick one, I make the commitment, I tell my people in my life, and I go post it on my social media.
Go post it as well.
Go get accountable. Go get really accountable. I want you to go, hey, I've been feeling a little soft lately. I'm making a commitment to work out every day for the next 100 days. If anybody's interested in joining me, feel free to message me. I'd love to have you on the ride. I'm going to post a picture every day for the next 100 days. If you don't see a picture, please message me. Here's my goal. Here's what I'm going to commit to. Let's do this. That is what a person that is committed to change does. I'll think about it and all that stuff, or that's a good idea. That doesn't work. Just try it for 100 days. To me, I'm not saying for the rest of your life, it's too big of a commitment for some people, but if you just make a commitment for 100 days and then, so like posting on social media or going to the gym or not vaping, I mean, those ones are like, some of these addictions are physical. I know a lot of people, I had a family member, he literally, every time I'd see him, he'd feel guilty and he'd drop his vape in a glass of water or his drink. He's like, I'm done. And I'd see him doing it again next time. I'm like, dude, that's expensive. You just keep dropping these $100 glow sticks in glasses of water.
Why do people keep going back? I mean, as you can see, they stop and they go back. You know, all these addictions, it's like, how can they be gone for good?
You got to do the work.
Got to do the work.
You got to ask yourself, what emotion do I not want to feel? Every addiction is allowing you to shift, right? You know, I'm nervous when I go to social events. I want to drink. I'm stressed. I want to vape. Some people believe I can't be creative if I don't do certain things. Some people like, I work too hard. I deserve this. It's a reward. It's like they make up stories about what it means. And then also if I'm not, who am I? Because it challenges the identity, right? The person who smokes cigarettes has a peer group of friends that also smoke. Like most people that smoke cigarettes don't hang out with a bunch of non-smokers. So then if they quit, what does that mean? They got to deal with let's see how long you go. Versus somebody that actually changes the identity. I'm not a smoker. They could have been a smoker. It's not that they quit. This is how I know the difference if somebody's actually going to quit. They don't tell me how many days it's been. They say I don't smoke.
Interesting.
If I change my identity around not being a smoker, like when I drove over here today, I didn't have to stop myself from going to a store to buy a pack of cigarettes because I don't smoke. But if I quit smoking, I'm still a smoker. It's just been, it could be years, you know what I mean? And it's just like, there's this mental conversation all the time. And it just takes a moment of weakness where you reset. I just think it's like when I quit drinking, I just said I don't drink. Like literally just boom, done. I'm done. Poured it all out. My wife was like, sure. It probably took 3 years for her to realize I was like truly done. You can ask her about it tonight if you're there. Yeah.
So it's been 3 years for you?
No, 13.
13 years.
But it took her 3 years to realize I was serious.
Because she might have said back then, maybe
because I tried quitting. I did the 30 days, the 100 days, the 90 days. Nobody, the person that finally decides they're done, that's not the first time they decide they're done. It might take 6, 7, 8, 9 tries. Like, I don't know. The sober October. It's like, dude, if you know you should be sober for October, you should probably just be sober. Like let's just call it a day. And again, it takes a while for your body to transition the identity and to create a new habit and a behavior. And I mean, if you let's say you decide to get your macros in check and go to the gym every day and you bring other people with you, it definitely has an impact. I mean, that's our standard. Like in my culture of a leadership team, the standards are the standards. They're not what you say they are, they're what you accept. So even in our company, we have a fridge, or we have a commercial fridge, and it's called Martell Macros. And we pay half the food for everybody that's macroed, like meal prep.
So if they eat according to the meal prep, you'll pay half for them.
No, I buy their meals as long as it's the meal prep.
Oh.
As long as it's the macro meal prep, I'll pay half. And nobody's ever joined our team and not gotten the best shape of their life because it's culture. And people come visit and they're like, oh man, I'd love to do that. And it's like, well, then do it. But it always starts from the leader. I couldn't do that if I didn't do that.
What would it be like working for you? If I apply to work for you, is there a prerequisite?
So it's kind of interesting because it's not prerequisites, it's who we attract and who we repel. I think culture is an attractor and a detractor. Like that's what culture is. It curates like a garden, right? Weeds and really life-giving vegetables and stuff. So because we're public about the culture, I don't even think the people that are not aligned with that apply.
I see.
So I don't have to be like, you have to be into macros. I just have to talk about macros.
What's the one thing that you would ask your team to scan for right away before you...
Personal development and growth. I can't teach you to want to learn.
You'll ask them what?
What are the 3 books that you read to improve your career in the last year?
And what else?
I mean, honestly, I'm happy with that.
That's it.
If you can't tell me a book that you've read for your own personal career in the last year, we're on 2 different hemispheres. We're like...
And you also said that if I'm hiring you and you don't know what you can do for me or you'll be doing for the next 90 days, then...
Yeah. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You tell me what you're going to accomplish for us. Yeah. When we do the test projects, we always ask them to like solve real problems. Like, I remember one time my buddy was complaining because he just fired this person he hired to manage his TikTok account. So what was the issue? It's like all their ideas were horrible. So what was the test project? He's like, what's the test project? The test project is the thing you make them do so that you can see if they can do the job. And in your case, it would have probably been a good idea to have them create some ideas for your TikTok so you could have seen what they would have done before you actually hired them, introduced them to the team, and then you had to fire them after 2 or 3 months. And he's like, oh my God, it's such a brilliant idea. I'm like, that's like, to me, I got it from Seth Godin a long time ago, the marketing genius, where he said, I can't work with you till I work with you. So I simulate the work before you ever come in. I'm working on a new book and it's...
What's it called?
I don't have a title yet, but you're going to love it.
What is it about?
I'll give you the 2 frames that I'm playing with. It's essentially a leadership book through the lens of letting go, that most people don't let go because of the trauma they experience in their life and their response system they've created. So that's a leadership thing. The other one is great leaders run as fast as they can to not be needed. So it's a really interesting leadership book around the frame of you've developed your leadership skills in response to things you've experienced. Either you're a control freak or you're hands off, you're a pushover. I call it the dictator and the doormat, right? And it's been a lot of fun to write because it's been, buy back your time was such a success, and then it taught people to buy back their time, but then they had to deal with people, and then the stuff came out and they're like, I'm not doing this right.
Which, by the way, is an amazing book, Buy Back Your Time. You should check it out. One of the best-selling books. I have to mention about the video. A few months back, I saw one video talking about the 7 steps. I'm like, was probably one of a few videos that I watched from start to end 3 or 4 times. And as I watched, my body was on fire. Like it lit up. Like never has someone lit me up that much in such a long time. And the 7 steps to reinventing yourself was just so orgasmically satisfying for me. It was spiritually orgasmic. I don't even know what word to use, but it was so intense.
You're making me want to rewatch my own video.
That I discovered you.
Let's go.
And this is why we're here, and the universe is bringing us together here in Bangkok. I feel like if you're able to share possibly in just a few minutes, those 7 steps, what it is, and we will pin that video in the comment section as well, so people can go watch. I think people do not know that they can reinvent themselves all the time.
Well, so the fascinating part about creating content, I put out 400 pieces of content a week. I can't tell you what the 7 steps are. I remember that video specifically because in many ways, I didn't think it was interesting enough to shoot. Isn't that crazy? My team came to me and they're like, I really think we should do a video on this. I look at my life and I go, okay, I started off as a software programmer. And then the next step was like learning the business side. Because I built 2 software companies that failed. Okay, at 17, 19. And then when I was 24, I finally hired a business coach, this guy named Bob. He taught me how to be an entrepreneur. Prior to that, I was a programmer. And I thought that, okay, well, I have customers and I write code, then I'm a business. Those are not, I was a programmer. You can be a programmer and have customers and still not be an entrepreneur. So then I had to reinvent myself, which again, it's this identity thing that's so tough because like all my friends at the time were programmers. So now all of a sudden I got to be a business guy. Well, programmers are very cynical. I don't know if you met like engineer type left brain. They're very cynical. Like, ooh, Mr. Dan's going to go make some money. And I was like, bro, I'm just trying to like I don't want to work for anybody else. So then I went down the path of like being a business person. And then that reinvention was tough because I had to like learn how to deal with people. The whole leadership thing, man, it's a wild place because everybody, it's like hard enough to be your self-discipline. Now I'm responsible for what you do. That's a wild thing. Everybody wants to be a leader until they realize now you're responsible for other people and you can't control them. And somehow you have to get them to agree to do stuff. So that part was really hard. And then I ended up building a company and selling that. And then I had to deal with, okay, now you're a wealthy guy in your city and you've got Facebook messages from friends you went to high school with that are asking you for money. And that's a weird conversation. You know, they think that you should lend me $5,000. You should lend me $50,000. They think that it's normal. Like you asked me for $20 for gas money. And like at every step of the evolution, that identity gets attacked. And like even this last one for me, so all my social media content, okay, a lot of people know, I think we have almost 8 million followers across social media. One of the fastest growing brands in business. 2.5 years ago, I made the decision, and I remember my wife's like, oh, what, you're going to go be one of those guys? And I was like, I guess, if that's what it's called, I don't know. I just have a desire to die empty. And I know why I'm here. You asked me earlier, what's your purpose? And I was lying to myself.
You were lying to yourself.
Dude, I was full of lying to myself. The question I like to ask my coaching clients is, what are you pretending not to know? What I was pretending not to know is I knew damn well if my true purpose was to go and serve the kids, how to serve them. But I didn't want to be that guy. So you want to talk about reinvention? It was jarring and I had to learn new skills and I had to be okay having cameras in my face and my life scrutinized and Dan, why do you always wear a blue shirt? And who do you think you are? And like, holy cow, I have a big heart, man. It hurts my feelings when people are not nice in the comments. I've learned to deal with that. I've learned that you either irritate or inspire people and it's not at your control, you know? But every step of reinvention requires you to realize that the fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not real. All the fear you have about this new life, it's not real. You made it up because you might be verbally fighting for your limitations, but you're doing it in your mind, right? You're fighting for the limitation of the new version of you that you know that version of you gets you the thing you've been asking for. But it's hard.
Because we live in a day and age right now with AI that we will be introduced to new titles, jobs, possibilities of being a whole new Dan, Woody, in so many ways. And we're always stuck on the past of maybe I don't deserve to get this. Maybe I'm not good enough. Oh my God, everyone's right. It just, that inner dialogue in the head is just going on, especially nowadays when, interestingly, imposter syndrome it has a space there somewhere. It's always there, you know. So I'm thinking right now that people watching this content would get so much value because you will always need to be reinventing yourself.
Always.
Constantly until the day you die.
If who you are is who you needed to be to achieve the thing, you have it already. The evidence of it not being in your life is proof that this version of you is not the version that's required. And it will be tough. But here's the cool part. In that moment of the challenge, as you evolve, you're literally going through that to get you ready to receive the thing you've been asking for. Think about that. Who you are is not who you have to be, because if it was, you'd have it. You have to go on the journey. On that journey, there will be pain, setbacks, frustrations, and they're perfectly designed. Pain is a perfect teacher to teach you the lesson, to be ready to receive the thing you've been asking for. Because if you actually got the thing you want today, you would fumble the bag, as the kids would say. And the reinvention is just the path. It's required. You can't hold things. You got like, well, I'm this way. No, you're not. You can learn to be something else. You have ADHD. What if I don't now? I don't know. I don't like anybody speaking my past over me. If I haven't seen you in a while, let me reintroduce myself.
That's it. I like how you reintroduce yourself.
Every year. Literally every year, if I'm doing the work.
Tell us how you reintroduce yourself to friends who you've known for a long time. You say it's vital because your past is done.
I'm not the guy you met last year. Like, you want to be like, you meet these friends, let's say you went to high school with or college or you used to work with, and they're like, do you remember that time? It's like, okay, can we just like settle something right here? Can we just talk about who we were then and who I am today? Like, you're talking about a time when I wasn't even a father. I didn't have any means. I was struggling, and I finally got sick and tired of my life, and I changed it. The person I am today is not that person. It can't be, because if I was, I'd be the same person. So the person you admire is not the person you're talking to today. I can reintroduce myself to you, and if you like that person, we can keep this conversation going. But I just don't see the point of revisiting the past, because if that's your highlight reel, that's your challenge. My highlight reel, I'm still building, bro. Like, I got stuff to create, and if you're impressed by what I created, thank you. I'm literally just starting. I have another 100-year business plan. People are like, that's so crazy. Most people live to 82. Oh, I know what you believe. Like, even if I didn't live that long, it's more fun for me to plan. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes people don't realize, like, what's funner? Me believing I could live for 100 years or not? That I could. Cool. Guess what? I'm going to live that's funner. So I'm always trying to ask myself, like, what am I pretending not to know? Where's my opportunity? Who do I need to be, the becoming? What identity? What do I need to shed? What are the vices I got to get rid of? Where do I got to create space in my life to allow myself for the new? Right? That's where the buy back your time process comes from. Most people get stuck because they actually, if they could have somebody help them, they don't even know what they would ask them to do. So if anybody's listening, they're like motivated and they're like, I want to learn more from Dan, just find me on Instagram. As you know, like, I live my life, 400 pieces of content every week. Follow me on Instagram, and I will dose it out, and I will be your mentor. And if people message me, and I don't give this out, I'll give them my internal SOP for my assistant. It's a 42-page document that shows you all the weird, intricate things that they do for me so that I can be here with you and not have to worry about where I'm supposed to be next. Guess what's in my calendar? Or where am I next week? No, I'm here. Only I can do this. And my feet are where they're at. And I think people that want to learn that, if they message me, I will reply with the direct link. There's no opt-in. That's my gift to them so they can start the process, because you can't reinvent unless you create the space. That's the mistake people make, adding on top, adding on top, adding on top. Self-Sabotage. They know.
Well, people who've never met you before or come across you for the first time, you mentor so many people. What is the business today for Dan Martell?
I spend 97% of my time building AI venture. Like, I have a venture studio called Martell Ventures. So we launch a new AI company every month. I've been doing it for 28 years. I'm a software guy. We started it a year and a bit ago, and we're on pace to do $1 billion in revenue within the next 3 years. 3 years. Like, this year, we're going to, like, literally, we have 6 weeks left in the year. Boom. Got 2 more years. I built a plan for 5, but we're going to do it sooner. So, like, then the content for me is, well, here's something most people don't know. I don't approve anything. Dan Martell is Dan. Everything you see, I don't approve it. I don't edit it. I don't publish it. I see it when the world sees it. But I know what I said because I said what I said. And, like, that messes with people a lot. There's nobody at my scale that doesn't review the YouTube video or the script. No, I just sit down and whatever the title, let's talk about reinvention. Okay, well, let me just do an outline, and then I talk, and then now they do a lot of editing. I mean, they get paid well because they have to fix a lot of just, but I just love to teach. And then those people that want to learn from me, they can lean in. And then I have, once in a while I do events, but those events are like, they're just my favorite way of connecting with people. But I don't guarantee I'll do another one. It's kind of weird. I'm like I don't want a business behind the content. My business is the AI stuff, but it's also distribution for the companies. So yes, building a brand allows you to create distribution. Mr. Beast has done it with Feastables, Logan with Prime, and a ton of other creators. And that's just my version. I teach business stuff for free. It's all free. I'm going to die empty. And then I have AI tools that I've built. Some of them I promote, some of them I don't. Like, that's kind of the business.
You mentioned about 3 times in this conversation that you're going to die empty. What does that look like?
Well, right off the bat, my pet peeve right now, like if I wouldn't fight people over it, but I would fight for it, is the idea that information should be free. I have a real problem with people that claim intellectual property around stuff, especially with AI. Like just like when I coach people, I tell them, if in my book, my coaching, my video, my content, take it, use it, teach it. Don't give me attribution. I don't need it. Like, I don't care. I don't know if my publisher would agree with this, but buy back your time, write it in your own language, take it, it's yours. I don't need the whole idea of holding on to stuff is such a scarcity mindset. I'm allergic to it. So I'm like the opposite, where anything I've ever taught that I've created, it's yours. If it spoke to your heart, take it, use it, remix it, play with it. You'll never hear me going, oh, that's mine, blah, 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 pay me a piece. Like, so when I say empty, I go like, first off, as many creative ideas that I think could help people, I'm giving it to the world. And when I take my last breath, I'm going to ask myself, did I live fearless? Fearless is a crazy word if you think about it. Fearless. Like, did you do the thing you knew was scary, but you did it anyway? Like, were you willing to take the risks? Like, I call them ratios of risk. Most people don't realize that the bigger you get, the less riskier you are. And it's the opposite you should be. The bigger you get, the more you should take risks in ratio to what your goals are. So like, I coach a lot of really successful guys that want to be billionaires, and the ratio of investment they're willing to risk is a fraction of what they risked in the early days. They didn't adjust. It's a percentage. It's not an absolute dollar. It's like, you can't say, well, I'm only willing to put $1 million on the line to make $1 billion. Well, that's silly. Mm-hmm. That's not how it works. You know, when Elon said, I got 100 million, I got 3 companies, I'm going to put 30 here, 10 there, 60 there. He went all in. He had to borrow money for rent. That's why he's that, like, so to me, I want to go like, did I live fearless? Like, was I acting scared? And they're subtle. They're so subtle. Like, oh, I don't really want to get in the best shape of my life because then I got to stay there, because if I don't, people are going to go, oh, you got fat. And it's like, oh, do I really want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Do I really want to tell people you're building a $1 billion company? Because then they're going to ask you, how are you doing with the $1 billion company? Well, you know, like literally there was a video, I was talking to my team this morning. They're like, hey man, can we have a title called How I'm Creating 25 Billion in 10 Years? Because that's actually on the vision board inside Martell Ventures. There's a whole diagram of how we're doing it. And it's 25 billion of enterprise value in 10 years. And my immediate response was like, no, bro, like, come on. Like, this is getting stupid. Like, we don't need to say that. And I knew I didn't want him to say that because I didn't want to be held accountable to it. Mm. So 3 minutes later, my brain, hey, dude, write it. Let's do it. Because it's true. It's not like, it's a poster that we designed, the whole team knows about. It's not like clickbait. And he's like, Dan, we want to just show people what you do. And I was like, oh, okay.
What is enough for now for Dan Martell?
I don't see, this is so crazy. This is, oh my God. All right. Here's the thing, Woody, is enough is right here. Right now. Enough is already there. I don't need anything more. Involved, deeply involved, unattached. So involved.
I think the art of being unattached is just so challenging nowadays.
100%.
Because everyone is attached to something.
Desire. I need this outcome. I need this to happen. I need this to happen. I need this to happen. You want to find somebody that's a weapon, the person that needs nothing from nobody. You want to talk about fearless? How can you be fearless if you need anything to happen anyway and any person? No. Fearless requires no attachment to any desire, because in the knowingness of enough, then possibility is anything. And there's no need for it to be any other way than the way it is. And it couldn't have been any other way because it wasn't. And that place of creation, that nucleus of creation, is the most powerful thing every human's got, but they never even get to touch it or see it or feel it. So that's what's funny, is that from the outside, this is what's cool, is people seeing my life from the outside see my life through their lens, not my lens. So they make up stories about what I must be doing, why I'm doing, because of the way they see the world. So the world isn't as it is, the world is as you are. And that's the coolest part, is like when people ask me that question, I love it, because I'm like, oh, no. The enoughness has happened a long time ago.
I like that. The enoughness has happened a long time ago.
The hole, it's been filled. There's no lack. I'm not trying to, there's no proving anything to anybody. I'm not trying to be anything for anybody. And that's why, like, I know who I am. I don't need to approve a video.
You're living on a bonus right now.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? That's what we should tell ourselves every day. This is all a bonus.
Yeah. Bonus round.
Thank you for your vulnerability, your wisdom, and for showing us that our past does not define our future. Dan Martell, it is such an honor to have you here with us today. Khop kun mak krab. Thank you.
Thank you.